Hi, Statesmen Nation. We're here with head women's volleyball coach Lauren Eldridge as we get ready for the 2023 season. Coach, season number 2. So before we get into talking about season number 2, let's backtrack a little bit, talk about year 1, really successful year, semifinal appearance in the tournament, all of that stuff. So let's recap last year a little bit.
Last year was a really good season. I mean, we were really happy with how it ended. Obviously, wish we would have gone a little bit further, but being able to host that first round, get revenge on Evangel was nice because we haven't beat them in, I think, the whole time we've been in this conference.
Right.
We had six people on all team conference and 11 or 12 scholar athletes, and so really awesome. And we're really looking to go from there and go even further this next year.
Definitely. Let's talk about off-season, anything that you guys were looking at, trying to improve upon during those many months of we want to play again, but, we just gotta keep working towards next year. So recruiting-wise or just in the practice room or in the strength room, what were you trying to accomplish in the overall?
So we were in a really good position for the spring because we had a lot of sophomores. So, we have a lot of juniors this year too. So we're just looking to build that depth with what we have right now. Our varsity team this year, and most of them are returners. We have 3 or 4 new faces. So in the spring, really focused on, critiquing the little things, positional stuff instead of during season it's team stuff.
Right.
In the spring is all about positions. So, breaking down your footwork, your arm swing, your platform, your setting hands, and so we can work on that in the spring. So come fall, it's more team oriented instead of, hey, this is the fundamentals, or critiquing your elbow up or something like that.
Sure. Awesome. All right, let's just get right into the team then. However you want to start, if it's outsides or setters or you choose.
Outsides, we have Olivia returning for us, all conference. We have Riley. She was a freshman last year, got a lot of playing time as a sophomore this year. And then we have Caitlin Judah returning for us on the outside. Super deep right there.
Definitely.
They all can play 6 rotations, so it's nice that we have all 3 able to go all the way around, be a front row option and then also back row as well. In the middle, we have Alyssa returning, super senior, so it's exciting for that. She's our only super senior this year. We have Patricia, Patty for short, coming for us after a JUCO season, Brazilian. Super excited for her. 6'1", has a super high reach. She's going to do a really good job for us in the middle. We have Keegan coming back from an injury. She's going to be a big position there as well, kind of fighting for that second spot. And we also have Emily, who's a freshman who cannot just play middle, but play outside and probably right side too.
Sure.
So it's nice to have that depth there. Going to the right side, we have Andresa back. Awesome leadership and, big block on the right side for us. We have Jade coming back as well. So she was another right side for us last year. And then we have Mariah, going to be a senior, and then we have Dell on the right side as well. That's going to kind of round us out there with that depth position. And then our setting, we have 3 returners in a way. Shy, she was a freshman last year. Mia, freshman last year. She got a lot of playing time last year. Great defensive player. We have Kate, who was not a setter last year for us, but she can also swing on the right side, but she's 5'10", 5'11", so it's nice to have that height in that setting position. And then we have Kayla, who's a transfer for us from a JUCO. And we also have a freshman, Emily, who's going to play some varsity practice and game experience, so she can kind of get into that. And then for our DSs, we have Kaya, sophomore for us, who played an outside DS position last year. Destiny, she was a setter the last 3 years, and so we transitioned her over to a DS fully, finally. And then we also have Jazzy in that DS position, and we graduated our libero last year, so that position's wide open for anybody.
We talked off camera about the depth that you got some players that are a little stressed out, thinking, all right, it's not as easy to get into the starting lineup as it has been. As a coach, though, you've got to be really excited about that, knowing, all right, if this person can't go for whatever reason this night or just having an off night, you can hopefully plug somebody else in.
Yeah, I'm excited for that because just practice, it's competition and practice. We face really tough people on the road and at home games, so it's nice to see that in practice instead of, it's maybe a little bit of a dip there, but now everybody's playing for every point. Every practice means a lot.
Sure.
Because, maybe one game it's these 2 and the next game it's 2 different people.
Right.
And so it's open for anybody, and that makes, practice a little bit more competitive. We were already a super competitive group.
Sure.
So I think it just raises the bar even more.
Yeah. Well, and then also you can just line it up differently and say, all right, this is what we need to do against this team and you have that ability to
So just
switch
have,
it up.
yeah,
Be
just a
versatile.
lot of options. You know, we can have somebody on the outside, maybe they can go the right side. Andresa and Jay can play outside. We have a middle that can go in both pins. A setter that can play front row. So kind of the options are endless. And as a coach, I love that. So it's nice to have those options there.
Right, kind of geek out when you look at the roster. Like, man, there's a lot of potential here. Okay, let's go into the schedule. Let's talk about non-conference first. We have 3 tournaments. We start up with William Woods to begin with, but then you have 3 tournaments and a couple other non-conference, dribble in there. So let's talk about how that's going to prepare the team.
Yeah, I really wanted to start out this season playing at home. That's our favorite place to play at, and just having our first home game there, so we're not on the road. Start on Tuesday, and then we start out at Columbia College for a tournament, and I believe 2 out of the 4 ranked opponents. Our conference is tough. We have top 3, top 15 teams right there, and so we want to be able to be prepared for that before we actually get to our conference season. So Columbia College tournament is going to prepare us for that. When you go to Viterbo, it's another very high level tournament, and so we want to play competition. So hopefully we can win a lot of those games, and maybe get into that conversation to be in the top in the NAIA, but also prepare us for when we play the CMUs, the Parks, the Mid-Ams, the Grandviews, the Mount Mercy's of conference.
Yeah, for sure. All right, segue right into the conference then. Preseason hasn't really been officially announced, but it is on the NAIA site about we're 4th coming into the season, which is where we finished, so kind of makes sense. Like you said, you already talked about the big 3 of CMU and Park and Mid-Am. Where do you see the team? Do you feel like it's good? Do you feel like it's that maybe guys come in with a chip in your shoulder that maybe should be higher? I mean, how do you look at that?
Yeah, I know we've talked in practice that we kind of do have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder, but at the same time we kind of can't because we didn't win last year.
Right,
so that's
exactly.
That's the big thing that we're talking about. Like, our expectation is to get there this year, and we're not going to surprise anybody. Maybe last year we might have, especially CMU. But I mean, we have goals and we start here, but it doesn't matter how you start; it's how you finish.
Yeah.
And so this is a good starting point, but we want to get not just 4th. We want to get to that top 2 or that top 1.
Sure, definitely. All right, what's it going to take to achieve that goal of being top 2, top 1, nationals, all of that stuff?
After our 2 scrimmages, we know that it's basically us against us. If we are losing a set or a game, it's probably because we're the ones making the mistakes, and it's not them doing anything. We're super offensive heavy. If you watch us swing and hit in warm-ups or even in games, we bounce a lot of balls. We hit heavy.
Yeah.
But it's also on the flip side, we're hitting heavy, but we're also not making the best decisions, so we're losing points on our end.
Right.
So if we take care of our side, our offense gets going, we have all 6 or 5 options in the front row, we'll be fine. And our defense is doing a really good job of our blocking. We averaged a pretty good amount of blocks over the scrimmages, and so similar to last year, if we can keep that going, we'll be fine. And against other teams like the top and the 3, we're pretty similar. Like, we might not be the tallest, but we were very, block heavy, offensive heavy, and we hang with those teams that are similar to us.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, again, season starts August 22nd against William Woods at home. Again, a whole bunch of home games. I think I counted 15 total home matches this year, so a lot of opportunities to see the Statesmen Independent Activity Center. So thank you, Coach Eldridge. Appreciate it. Keep tabs of the women's volleyball team as well as all the other teams on statesmanathletics.com, as well as all of our social media accounts. Definitely download the app, all of that fun stuff. So thanks, Coach. Best of luck this season.
Thanks, Wade.
Thanks.